we continue to reiterate on the exclusive details of the Russian troops' advancement as is coming in from the Ukrainian intelligence sources. We are learning that the convoy of armored vehicles of Russian armed forces have stalled on the outskirts of Kyiv. They've slowed down because Kyiv was one of the most important strategic regions that the Russians were aiming to conquer. Also, we are learning that two battalion tactical groups of Russian army have moved to two defensive operations in the areas of Poliske and Kukhari. Russia is trying to involve armed forces of Belarus. Ukraine is expecting armed provocations in the border area. So this is where Ukraine is working towards, and they are preempting that the border areas will see a rise in tension. As far as the Russian army is concerned, they are expecting two battalion tactical groups to have moved to two defensive operations in the areas of Polisk and Bukhari. I want to bring in Saurav Shukla on this point because Saurav, that is what the Ukrainian intelligence is moving on. This is source-based information. Kyiv, an extremely important region for Russia to conquer, to be able to take control of Ukraine, and the Ukraine intelligence is revealing that they are slowing down on the outskirts of Kyiv.
Okay, this is a very significant piece of information that you're revealing now, because it's very clear that Russia will go all out to mount an offensive on Kyiv, because it believes that the fall of Kyiv would actually be a turning point for this invasion, because they've been trying from the last, it's been the 8th day now to gain control of Kyiv. They have failed because of a stiff resistance by the Ukrainian forces and Ukrainian people. So I'm sure this is a part of, Vladimir Putin's strategy to make sure that he can then install a puppet government in Ukraine, because that's the end game that Vladimir Putin is playing for. Having said that, what is also of a concern is that, the attack on the nuclear plant, which has been there. In fact, that is Europe's biggest nuclear plant. And I think International Atomic Agency must look at it, because, there is also a concern that is there a leakage from that plant? Because, that's something which the world cannot ignore, because if that happens, it impacts everyone in Europe, and entire world should be concerned about this. I also want to emphasize on the strategy that Russia is expected to deploy at the talks, which will happen today. My sense, gathering from my sources, is that the reason why they want the capture of Kyiv is because then they can have a decisive advantage over Ukraine when they go to the next round of talks, because that's the whole game plan, that you put so much of firepower, so much of pressure on Ukrainians that they succumb to the Russian demands. So this is what is the strategy they're going into. For us, obviously, we have to wait and watch, but it's a cause of concern, because certainly while overwhelming number of Indians have been evacuated from Ukraine, there is still a large number which is there in the country, and their safe passage is of utmost concern to India.